Alright, let's talk about atomic theory. Why do chemists, scientists care about the atom? Okay, well, for one thing, it helps us um, better understand matter. Also, it helps us progress science better. If you're going to if you're interested in a chemical reaction between two elements, it helps in advance to know what the atoms that you're putting together are like and whether they will be compatible. It's not it kind of let's say it removes trial and error from experiments. Okay, one of the first scientists, if we want to call him that, to look at matter was Democritus. He was a Greek philosopher. He thought that all matter was made of tiny particles, and he was right. And he philosophized that, and he said that all kinds of matter are alike, which is wrong, but he was right on this one. Mendeleev was a Russian scientist who came along next. He made, you might remember from earlier studies, he made the first periodic table. Yes. He classified the elements about based on their masses and their chemical properties. Yes. He put these info on cards, and he organized his cards on his wall and moved them around, and he looked at patterns between mass and chemical properties. And then when it was all done, he had his periodic table, but he had some gaps in his periodic table, and this meant that there were new elements still to be found. And other scientists went out there and they found those elements, which was a great discovery and really strengthened what he thought was happening. Dalton came along next. He studied gases to develop his ideas. He realized that atoms of different elements would vary in size and mass, and he also realized that they would not all be the same, which Democritus thought. All different elements are completely different. Their atoms are completely different. He had some other incorrect ideas, but this is the key point right here. He was right on this guy, and that really moved the conversation forward. John Thompson came along next. He proved that atoms were made of smaller parts. The atom itself wasn't as small as you go. He discovered the electron, and that it was negative. Yes. Now this model, you might remember from earlier studies, it's sometimes called the Plum pudding model. In some places they call it the Raisin Bond model. And so what he thought was that that we had negative little raisins inside this bun. These are negative, and that the bun itself, the material of the bun, was positive. So this is, I'll put negative raisins surrounded by positive bun. Yes. So these are the first scientists who really left their mark on atomic history and atomic theory, from Democritus starting to Mendeleev, Dalton, and then down to John Thompson. In the next video we'll carry on and talk about some more physicists who've had an impact.